Thank you for providing me opportunity. Introduction. In order to ensure that students are not left without a way to learn and to stop the virus from spreading, the authorities suggested adopting alternatives to traditional learning techniques in situations after the sudden closure of educational facilities due to the appearance of COVID-19. E-learning is the name given to the formal educational system that uses electronic resources. The use of computer technology and the internet is the essential element of e-learning, but teaching can take place inside or outside of classrooms. When the COVID-19 virus emerged, the conventional educational approaches were replaced with online learning, since social meetings at educational institutions are thought to represent opportunities for the virus to spread. Meanwhile, the use of technology has long been a subject of debate on a global scale. Similar to this, using ICT in Pakistan is advised to get the best outcomes because it improves teachers' pedagogical skills and encourages students to engage in active learning. The Higher Education Commission urged university administrators to start offering courses online. It has been a hit in a lot of nations. The Higher Education Commission in Pakistan overcame several obstacles and deserves praise for maintaining pragmatism during the crisis by providing technical support to colleges and developing a number of online education policy guidelines. In a significant worldwide interactive learning experiment, schools and institutions all around the world have abundant in-person instruction in favor of online learning. Professionals use the tools of the internet and current software and technology to think outside the traditional conceptions of education in order to excel in their careers. This points to a great opportunity for educational services to reconsider how schools operate in order to meet contemporary economic demands. This study tries to uncover issues that online learning and education in Pakistan during the COVID-19 pandemic encountered. The Focus 6 universities of Lahore City's management faculty and students made up the research population. Teachers and administration received 2 different sorts of questionnaires, while students receive a polling survey to complete using Google Form. The statistical study of the outcome uses the descriptive approach. We have obtained encouraging discoveries through the evaluation of the data that highlight some of the difficulties and offer recommendations. Statement of the problem. This research is aimed at identifying the challenges faced in online education and learning in Pakistan during the COVID-19 pandemic. And the research questions are: what challenges have students and teachers faced in online education and learning during the COVID-19 pandemic in Pakistan? What recommendations can be suggested in order to overcome the challenges faced in online education and learning in Pakistan during the COVID-19 pandemic? As you can see, the theoretical framework in front of you indicating the independent variables and a dependent variable. These are the research hypotheses evolved from the theoretical structure H1, H2, H3, H4, and H5. Methodology. The research has followed an exploratory methodology. This strategy is being used to determine the difficulties encountered in online education and learning in Pakistan during the COVID-19 pandemic. 6 universities were chosen as a sample because they had the trait of being public institutions authorized by the same provincial government. The selection of the sample is justified by its similar environment resilience on a similar exceptional ministry location and natural setting. The students and faculty of the 6 institutions that were the subject of the study completed 99 questionnaires for each institution. In order to carry the reliability and validity of the data for results, the researcher employed triangulation. Therefore, the researcher used questionnaire for the teachers, interviews with the management, and polling survey for the students to conduct this triangulation. As you can see, the categorization of students, teachers, and management of the Focus 6 universities in the form of table 1.1. Findings based on the student's viewpoint. According to the students, multimedia forms of the scientific method are one of the most important ways that e-learning is used. The students concur that online education and learning is beneficial, that it enhances their academic standards, and that it keeps them secure. According to the students, the main obstacle to the implementation of e-learning is the poor quality of internet services. The students showed that there are drawbacks to e-learning, with the one being that it puts more pressure on students while lessening the workload for teachers. The students concurred that time management is no doubt a success factor, but it was a big challenge during the COVID-19 pandemic. They also concurred that the main obstacle to the implementation of online education and learning is the lack of training for staff. Findings based on the teaching staff viewpoint. According to the teaching staff, one of the most important advantages of e-learning is that it fosters students' technological proficiency. All members of the teaching staff concur that e-learning is widely used and that faculty members' access to email and other e-services is its most important application. The teaching staff also acknowledges that there are challenges in implementing e-learning, with one of the biggest challenges being the high expense. They also acknowledges that e-learning has drawbacks, with the one being that in comparison to traditional learning, it necessitates financial support. All members of the teaching staff also concur that preparing the staff for various technological applications presented difficulties. They acknowledges that low quality of internet services is the biggest obstacle to the deployment of online education and learning. Conclusion: online education and learning have a real chance to turn a new leaf and use the opportunity to shift towards a better future as Pakistan moved through the deadliest day of the coronavirus outbreak. To achieve this, it will be necessary to think outside the box and apply creative, proactive, and constructive tactics throughout the entire industry. More generally, the pandemic has been significantly influenced by online education and learning. Despite the numerous barriers, there are approaches to increase accessibility and cost effectiveness of education and learning. Online learning is currently poised to transform the educational landscape in Pakistan and around the globe. However, in order to benefit from progress in this field, a significant change in pedagogy will be required. Technology can be used to improve classroom talks, not to completely replace them. Recommendations: in the era of the COVID-19 pandemic, when face-to-face teaching and learning were severely lacking in the educational system, this study helps one to develop a practical dread of online teaching techniques and problems. This study offers strategies for faculty members to better incorporate technology into their pedagogical practices and provide an effective replacement for face-to-face instruction. According to the study findings, pupils did not show much interest or engagement in coordinated lessons. As a result, it is advised that teachers use interactive communication-based tools and activities to stimulate students' attention and encourage engagement in order to support their e-learning. To provide a better working environment, parents and institutional leaders should assess their students. The Higher Education Commission should develop a policy to enable internet access for learning purposes, and the institution should establish an IT support section for teachers and students to provide technical support. Additionally, a suitable channel should be established to oversee how well teachers are doing in achieving the best results. Management authorities should use a well-designed learning management system appropriately for this purpose while assessing remote teaching and learning. To deal with unforeseen occurrences that may arise in online education and learning, a contingency plan should be developed. These are the references. Thank you.